Okay, so I bought an Africa Twin. Unbelievable.
Well, g'day from Big Bike Adventures. Well, before I start this new series on the Africa Twin, I just wanted to make a huge shout out to all the people that have provided feedback and made comments and asked questions about the Crosstourer, and especially those people that commented that I helped them with their decision making process in buying a Honda Crosstourer of their own. I just want you guys to know that I love this bike so much. This is a fantastic bike. In my opinion, there's not a better two-up tourer machine than this Honda Crosstourer. The V4 engine, the shaft drive, the amount of torque, the smooth delivery, and the payload this thing can carry is just absolutely fantastic. I love this bike. It's going to stay in my stable because it is such a fantastic two-up tourer. Thanks very much and enjoy the Africa Twin.
Well, good morning, Big Bike Adventurers. Guess what we're doing? I thought it was about time we come and take one for a test drive. So the guys at Honda are very nicely going to let me take one out by myself today, which is good because I want to be able to ride it. I won't take it off-road though. But I do want to see what it behaves like without having to have one of their guys floating around. Well, you know this moment's been coming. We've been talking about this one for a while. I've been putting off buying one because I knew as soon as I did I'd want to buy one. With all the trouble they had in Fukushima last year, the supply delivery of bikes, it kind of worked out pretty well. Now we're in a situation where I probably can buy one. I do want to do the right thing and take it for a test drive first. So I'll start it up, we'll warm it up. Oh, you're kidding. You know, I put the key. Oh dear! I put the key in my pocket before I put my gloves on. That's what I like about the XR650. That's a pretty flash dash. I'll just let it warm up. So I've already wound the suspension up a bit because they're designed for people who are a little bit lighter than me, a lot lighter than me. Interesting thing about this is that a lot of the reports that I read about the Africa Twin were by people saying how big it is, and probably if you're getting off something like a Tenere or a DR650 or one of those sort of bikes, it probably is a bit big. But when I sat on it before, it is actually really small compared to the Crosstourer. So it's probably just a matter of perspective. I mean, if you're coming at this thing from a small bike, it will seem big, but if you're coming at it from a big bike, obviously it's going to seem small. I like that note. Okay, so just it's just light compared to the Crosstourer. That's really the first thing you notice about this. It just feels like not necessarily smaller, just lighter. It just feels more nimble. That was really the first thing I picked up. Alright, well, it feels nice. I do like it. I'd really love to be able to take on off-road. You know, I've read probably enough reports now by people pretty much all over the world talking about its capability off-road, so I probably don't really need to do that. I've got a fair amount of confidence that it's pretty good off-road. There's a mob in Italy, I think, that are already racing them, and from what I could tell from the results, they're pretty much winning everything. You know, I'm not concerned by its off-road capability. You know, it's probably a bit better with the helmet down. Probably one of the best explanations I've heard about this bike actually comes from an XR650 owner, and he said what it's like is it's like an XR650 but on steroids, and you know what, that's probably a better comparison for it rather than trying to compare it to the Crosstourer. The Crosstourer is a big touring bike. It really is. It's an all-roads touring bike. You can load it up, 2 people, big shaft drive, and it loves it. So the comparison for this is probably more because of the 21-inch front wheel, the suspension travel and the clearance underneath it. That's why you're sitting up so high. It's probably better to compare it to a dirt bike, and it really does feel, you know, particularly when you're tossing it around, it actually feels more like my 650 than it does feel like, and even the riding position, you know, it just feels more like a 650 than it does the 1200. But so far so good. I really like it. I like how this is, you know, I'm sitting up, so the seats, there's 2 seat settings. I actually got it up on the higher one, obviously, because I've got no problem at all. I can almost flat foot both sides at the same time. That's just, if I had a load on this, I'd be flat footing it. But that suspension kind of feels adequate, but again, you know, we haven't really taken it anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go fill it up with fuel, just do a few of those things, and I'll come back and give you my initial feedback on the Honda CRF1000L Africa Twin. So that's my mate Barry. That's his Africa Twin. He's got the knobbies on, he's putting the high guard count on, all that sort of stuff. You got to have a listen to this though. Start that thing up, mate. Make it. Oh yeah. So that sounds a bit better than the stock one. Yeah. That's what we're doing. Sounds great. All right. I love that. That's awesome. Here you go. Come on. Doesn't she bark with that thing on it? Oh yeah. That sounds awesome. Alright, so here's my final analysis on the Honda CRF1000L. It's just a big dirt bike. You know, if your decision is between a Honda Crosstourer and a Honda Africa Twin, I would suggest you use the following criteria. If you're going to be doing more dirt than bitumen, get the Africa Twin. If you're going to be doing more bitumen than dirt, then get the Crosstourer. The Crosstourer is a very, very capable all-roads motorcycle for carrying big loads, long distances. It's perfect for that. It's a great, big, comfortable bike. It's beautifully smooth. The highway power delivery is magnificent. And it will do dirt roads, no problem at all. Anyone who's watched any of my videos will tell you. The Africa Twin is probably, if you're going to be doing 70-30 bitumen dirt, then I'd get a Crosstourer. If you're going to be doing 70-30 dirt bitumen, then I'd get an Africa Twin. CRF1000 engine is anywhere near as, well, let's just say the torque figures speak for themselves. This thing doesn't have anywhere near the torque of the Crosstourer. And if you're going to be loading your bike up with passenger and a whole heap of gear and doing a big road trip, I'd definitely take the Crosstourer. I reckon the Africa Twin, and that's what I'm going to be doing with it. I'll be registering as a single seater. I'll be pretty much putting a plate over the passenger seat and loading that up with gear. So it's going to be a one-man adventure bike, carrying camping gear and all that sort of stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be capable of that. If I was going to be doing that sort of thing too up, I would take the Crosstourer. Both great bikes and both cross over. So if you draw two circles, one's Crosstourer, one's Africa Twin, they kind of cross over because there's a spot in the middle they can both do. They're both good on the highway, they're both good on the dirt. If you go too far into the dirt, this would be better. If you go too much on the touring side of things, the Crosstourer would be better. It's the way they're designed, that's the gap they fill. For me, I'm going to buy this bike. I'm going to love this thing for a long time. Me long time. And we're going to become great friends and have some wonderful adventures together. I can just feel it. But I just need to make some small modifications, as you do, to personalise it, and big adventure friendly, big bike adventure friendly. Take it on some big adventures. Okay, so I bought an Africa Twin. Unbelievable.